Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 18, Round 16. Welcome to the Miami Grand Prix, and I've done it again. Same as last week, same mistakes, but the game sounds to be working okay to start us off. Yes, there it is. We are all good. Well, everyone, welcome along to the stream. I'm your host, Zach RC, here to take you through the next 2 hours or so of what should be a fantastic race here in Miami. Should be an absolute blast to get through here in the Sunshine State. Of course, still a recently new addition to the F1 calendar over the last few years. And qualifying getting underway. Of course, going into today's race, we have a new championship leader in the standing, and we're running on board with him now. There is your championship leader. It's Che, who now leads by 8 points over Grumio. I think the first time he's led the championship since Bahrain, so it's been a fair few weeks. It's been at least about a month or so since he last led the driver standings. So Ferrari look to get to their best. Of course, Che in the lead, down in third place in the championship. There's 15 points out of first right now. Grumio's in second. He's 8 points off the top of the chart. And of course, we're looking forward to getting to what should be an exciting qualifying session here. Of course, kicking off with Q1. Ben with a qualifying ban after the instant open last week's race in China with Grumio. So he's our first elimination, and we should get some drivers joining us later on in qualifying timeline, in terms of whether that's late in Q1 or whether that's later on in the night. We'll have to wait and see there, but we'll keep an eye out on Che and Dan. Che's coming through for his first lap of the session, the first flying lap to be set in qualifying tonight, so I'll run on board with him here, and I'll try my best to take you on a lap of the Miami International Autodrome. Of course, circuit that runs around the famous Hard Rock Stadium there on the right. So we're going down towards turn 1, then side start to the lap. There's a short run to that first corner, quite a tight right-hander here. Quite a squeeze to get through at turn 1. Let's get some carnage there on the start. Through turns 2 and 3, keeping it nice and under control. First sector runs all around to the end of turn 8, which is just around the end of this complex here. So through turns 4 and 5, through turn 6, of course, famously Charles Leclerc spun his Ferrari in 2023. Spun off here, crashed the car during the qualifying timeline. And now it's out to turn 8, and now down towards 9. The first DRS zone coming into play on the exit turn 9. 3 DRS zones on this circuit. One going out to turn 16 towards 17 with a long run toward the left-hander later on in match-up moments time. Che through turn 11, that's one of the heavier braking zones on the circuit. Down towards Che. Still well at this lap. The detection point comes at the split for sector 2. 1 minute 1.082 is second sector. So we'll see what he's got for the remainder of the lap. In terms of raw speed, hitting 200 miles an hour, he's down towards turn 17. Again, one of the heavier braking points on the circuit. Of course, this is started some late carnage in last season's race, because where Websy came through, he's the defending winner of this race in the Williams. Won it for Sauber last time around. Che towards the line then. 1:26.054 extension off, but Dan goes faster, only just by just over 0.3 of a second. So a solid start then for Daniel Aaron, who leads away. On the track here slowly, and we've got a tribute helmet on to someone tonight. Guess who? I'll let you by the colours try and judge who that is if we can get a better look. There we go. Very nice tribute, if I do say so myself. JB on the circuit here. Of course, JB still running in the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. 22 points to his name for the opening 5 rounds. Everyone's looking to add to that tally over the course of tonight if you can. Now, of course, big news in terms of driver changes this week. James has dropped down to reserve for the time being, and he's being replaced in the Aston Martin seat full time by Yogolu, who of course has made a few reserve appearances. So from here on, he'll start scoring championship points for Aston Martin, who have only got 4 points on the board so far, all courtesy of Flying Duck. Duck joining us later on in the session, along with Landlord. So we'll see those guys in later on. So of course, you're going to look to score some big points tonight, and of course we'll also look at the Mercedes team, who are scoreless unfortunately after the first 5 races. Red J with a after shield support was demoted a place, so Imri in the end nabbed the last point in favour of Red J. So Mercedes had their point taken away from them and are now back on 0, but There's been word in the camp this week about Obsessed Gamer, who potentially might have a bit of pace in his sleeve today. Let's keep an eye on his lap. Of course, this is one of 3 home races for Obsessed this season, so we'll look forward to seeing what he can do at the first opportunity in Miami. But of course, pace has been okay for the Mercedes team so far this season. They're just waiting on the right sort of permutation of conditions and results, things to go their way. And of course, China was a prime example of that. Of course, Obsessed was caught in some trouble early on during that race. Grumio into 3rd place there, 1:26.2, so a bit slower than those 2 Ferraris to start things off, but keep an eye on Obsessed here as he goes down towards turn 1, the number 9 Mercedes. Dan retiring from the session, calling it quits after his first run. Imri's gone back to the pit lane. Pope is out on the racetrack, his teammate, so Haas team, of course, who have been decent qualifying as of the last few weeks. Still sitting in 3rd place in the constructors though. Imri and Pope sitting 4th and 5th in the standings respectively. Imri on 45 points, Pope on 35. Che retiring, so the 2 Ferrari cars thinking they're all good for Q2. I imagine they should be. Ben is confirmed to go out unless enough drivers do it set times. Ben is on a qualifying ban, so we'll see Ben out the first one this session. Pope is pulling the car over. So perhaps waiting for the Sauber to go through. The Sauber, if I assume that'll be Ethan, yep. So it goes through. We'll see if Pope starts moving again. Perhaps trying to build up, perhaps go for another lap. I'm not too sure. Obsessed Gamer's coming through here. We'll see what he's got in terms of lap time. There's a bit of lock up there going through turn 17, now towards 18 and 19. We'll see what sort of time he's got on the board. This looking like a good lap, to be honest. This could be a very good lap from Obsessed. 1:26.7. And that's up on Curtis and up on Ethan. 4th fastest for Obsessed Gamer. Curtis's P5, PJ owns P6, 1:26.8 for 8.23 on his first lap. Ethan now into 7th. Here comes Cott towards the line of the Williams team. Cott goes 4th fastest, Dispatch is Obsessed. 1:26.5 on the board. Of course, obviously we're looking at a sort of lead pack of sorts in terms of who is fast and who's not. Or not who's not fast, but who is the fastest rather. Of course, in China we saw a fair deal of that over the course of the race, but overall it was the 2 Ferraris who really stayed up front. And from there, Che managed to win the race purely by being was the last man standing in that little train. Of course, there were drivers who stood a chance to perhaps win the race, but things that they had during the pit stop sequence. I think in particular for Haas. Of course, Imri and Tentacannon were their collision last week in Shanghai. Up at the exit of, I believe it was turn 12, there was a bump of some kind. Temp ran over it, stood off the track, and almost took Imri with her. Both cars were damaged, and both cars fall back to try and score points. Imri in the end, post-steward report, managed to claim 1 point, so keeps him his 100% record of scoring in every race so far this season. But of course, we'll expect to see a fair deal of that too, a fair amount of DRS trains once more. Red out on the circuit in the other Mercedes. Yogolu coming through for trying to his first lap. 1:29.6 in his first effort. I think he may have invalidated though. So 9 cars and set lap times then. We're waiting on another 9 to come through, or rather another 8 without Ben in the session. JB back on the circuit. Charging down to the left-hander at turn number 11. Through 12 is the stadium section. into that immediate braking zone of turns 14 and 15. He's got his teammate just in front of him, so it could be a good toe. Perhaps him play for those Alpine cars. Curtis giving JB a bit of something. This could help massively for JB. And Curtis dropped on the way. That is spectacular teamwork from the Alpine team. So JB enters the left hand. If he keeps it under control, this could be a solid lap time. So 1:26.7, which is enough to actually put him in front of his teammate. So that car, obviously, in the second in the train, we saw it with Dan and Che earlier. The car second in the train is typically the fastest one by about a tenth or so. It just shows you the power of the DRS and the slipstream around here. So it's going to start to qualifying for Alpine then, in the top 8 as it stands. Imri set at that time, he's down to P10 here, 1:26.9. Keep an eye on him here as he makes his way through towards the third and final sector. Reported troubles on his first run. Reporting a lack of grip within his soft tyres. Looking for a time to put on the board. Only 5.5 minutes to go. He's coming back in the pit lane. Teammate Poe back on the circuit once more. It's right on board. Through turns 12 and 13 again. And towards the third and final sector now. 1 minute 1.5. Cott retiring, I think he's got enough to get through. Websy retiring as well, so both Williams cars calling it a day. Grumia retiring, so top 5 all out. Poke towards the line. 26.8. Just faster than his teammate, but 2 Haas cars struggling early on here. Look around here, see who else is on a lap time as it stands. Still, the bottom 4, all yet 7 laps. Yoglu's out in the circuit. He's had a few, 1 or 2 attempts now. Courtney Goblin is still in the pit lane. Alvar is on a lap with Valdez. 10th Cannon is also on a lap, 29.8 in the first sector. As it stands, 10th, dropped a few places last time out. Down to 9th in the standings, 25 points to her name. At 1.7 for a second sector time. And going down towards the left-hander of turn 17. 3 minutes to go. And as it stands, the 3 cars who are going out are yet set lap times. Calling towards the line. 1:26.9. So Pope, 10th and Emery all quite close together. Right now P10, P11 and P12. If this game is still sitting there in 6th place, doing a great job as it stands. JB retiring. So far, top 12 of 18, all within a second of each other. This is fantastic so far. Obsessed Gamer retiring, so the top 8 are all out. Yogalu's out. PJ's out now too. So not a lot of cars left in the session. Ben is now in 16th place, so it's guaranteed elimination. Can his teammate make it out of the bottom 3 too? Down towards 17 again. Of course, McLaren won the Miami Grand Prix last season at the hands of Lando Norris. Out the last 2 corners now towards the line. Alvaro into P13, now unlock Ethan into the bottom 3. A minute and a half left to go. Courtney Goblin back on the racetrack, looking for another lap. Going for one of the late ones, of course, got him into Q2 last week. Ethan right now in the bottom 3, 127.4. It's looking like he'll be out at this stage because I don't think he's got enough time to get back out on the racetrack. So Red J's at risk then. But of course Red J is on a lap himself. And there goes Courtney Goodwin got his way going past. Red J giving Courtney and Imrie plenty of room. Imrie 3 tenths up, almost 4. That'll push him perhaps just inside the top 4. If he maintains that pace, if he improves it, he could be looking perhaps in the top 3. Close to or in front of Grumio, but I think the 2 Ferraris have got the fastest time of the session wrapped up. Improving up to 4th place. Only 12 thousandths off of Grumio, so the Haas cars have got pace for today. Courtney got off the circuit. I think his lap been over before it even really got started. Courtney is out of qualifying. Let's check a flag. Prepares to fall. There he goes. So there is your bottom 3 then. Courtney Goblin is out. Ben, qualifying ban, is eliminated. And Ethan is also out with a 127.4. Red J is safe. Both Mercedes cars move on to Q2. Yogalu 14th. And it's Alvar, 10th Kellen, and Pope outside the top 10. That could bode slightly poorly for Q2. I have to wait and see. PJ 10th, and it's Curtis, JB, Obsessed Gamer, Websy, Cot, Imrie, Grumio, Che, and then Dan tops the session. So that more or less do it for Q1 then. Waiting out time to run down. Courtney Goblin, yep, time's hitting 129.9 now. Just confirmation we start from last this one. So here in Red J, the last 2 cars to come through to the line to finish laps off. Can Red J improve at all? We'll see what sort of time. Nope, he can't improve. It'll be P15 and that's enough for him. Both silver arrows move into Q2. But it is still Dan that is fastest. Shane second and Grumio. We're the last car in the top 3. So that is Q1. Top 15 will move on. And going out, Ethan, Ben, and Courtney Goblin. Here we go then. Time for Q2. We'll lose 5 drivers at the end of this session. And of course, the top 3 will move on to the final shootout in Q3. Weather's still looking okay. No risk of any rain for the moment. Of course, we know that we now know that if Landlord or Duck join us later on, they'll be starting at the back of the field. because they didn't. We're not here during Q1. Looks like Ferrari once again, they're getting their cars out first. No sign of the Haas mechanics, because they're normally the first into the pit lane. Going right after it again. Imri, there he is, exiting right behind them. And the Sauber of PJ right on the tail. Of course, PJ who performed exceptionally well in qualifying last week in China. Looking to do more of the same. There's a season on now from that pole position. So Ferrari then, right now looking at the ones to beat early on. They're even a few tenths clear of defending champion Grumio. Of course, we've all seen Grumio's pace by this time. He knows how to get the most out of the car as and when he needs to. Of course. They've then rejoined the session. Bob is obviously out, so we won't be seeing him for the minute. Not until around race time starts at 8 o'clock. But for now, we've got about half an hour or so of qualifying action to get through. So we'll continue on as we are. Majority of cars out the pit lane here. There's 5 of them who have stayed in. Alvar, 10th Cannon, JB, Red J and Cott have all stayed in the pit lane. Everyone else has gone for their out laps. So that's 10 cars now out on the circuit. And then towards the line, second car through set of lap time. Dan stayed ahead with Che, dropped back a little bit. Down slightly over the curb there for Imri at turn 6. Down to the zero zone once again and looking for turns 10 and now 11. There is down in the distance. He's going through turn 12 right now. I'm disconnecting for now. DRS in deploy now, and we'll see what the first lap time of Q2 looks like and what sort of pace we're looking at to get into Q3. Of course, Dan has been fantastic in qualifying this season so far. And across the line here, set at 1:26.2, which is about 2 tenths slower than he was in Q1. Che goes faster though, and he is able to maintain the same time. Of course, Dan came close and actually topped Che in the first session, but thanks to that slipstream he got from his teammate, those two work well together down towards turn 17. Dan was able to stay up with him, but in this case, Che is just over 2 tenths in front. PJ into third, 1:26.4. It's faster than both Imri and Pope. We're going down towards turn 17. We'll see what sort of time he's got lined up. Into the left-hander then, keeping it under control. A bit of lock-up though. But no struggles from the car, who maintain the V-Carbo 1 towards the line. 1:26.241. And it looks like, based on the few laps we've seen already, in terms of qualifying time, Che is in a world of his own. The championship leader, looking to extend that advantage. A win today can help him increase that gap to at minimum 15 points. 16 with the fastest lap. It will depend on where Grumio finishes. But right now, Ferrari, as I've been saying, are still the dominant force in the constructors. 51 points to the good over RB. Haas in third place, 81 behind. They're the only two teams within 100 points of Ferrari after just 5 rounds. Check back in the pit lane then, end of his first run. Comes out looking for a late push. Looking for a late push to get something into Q, to try and push for Q3. course, the only McLaren with a chance of making the top 10. Alvar 128.040. So not a fantastic lap there. I think they need some improvement. Let's go just under 10 minutes, find some more time and get some into Q3. Just towards the line, can he improve? He can, 126.8. Puts him to P7. Tempcano, the line 128.7, not a fantastic lap from herself. She's got some work to do to look into improving that. To get us into Q3 once more as well. And Dan retiring, so they call it an end there. I think he's got enough to get to Q3. I should imagine so, given based on the Q1 times. Cart, of course, made it into Q2 last take. It was P5 in the end. Imagine we'll see more of the same from him in Q2. Steven Websey, again, the defending winner of this race, after winning it in a tight scrap in the final lap of last season's Grand Prix. Che retiring. Cotswolds the line 127.6. It's enough for P7 right now. There's 12 cars set lap times. We're waiting on Red J, Yogler, and Websey. Red J towards the line. He's 1 minute 2.7 in the second sector. 128.003 in the third. That's only enough for P11. Almost about a second off the pace of JB and P10. That's going to make qualifying into Q3 incredibly more difficult. There's Websey now in his time lap. We'll see what he's got up his sleeve. We haven't seen so much Websey so far today. But of course, I showed decent pace in Q1, as did his Williams teammate. As he goes through turn 7. Through 10 down to 11 now. To the right hander, now left. Up to 13 and now 14, 15. Oh, there he goes. And that'll call an end, I think, to the defending Miami Grand Prix winners' first run of the session. End plate there off the car. So we'll see whether it's back in the pits this time to make a change. But I imagine a frustrating end to that first run. He's one of 2 drivers get a set lap time. Yogolu's coming through though. Imrie goes fastest there, 125.9. Where did that come from, the Haas driver? I think Haas may still have some pace in the bag. Puts Imrie up over Che, who can't improve on it, given he's retired from the session early on. Yogolu retiring. And he could be at risk here. Because he's in 8th place now, 9th. And we could see good times from any of the cars below. We could see a good time from Websey or 10th. Alvar, Red J, JB. We could all see him set decent times, perhaps get him into Q3. It's looking like you need a 126 at this stage. JB is only 4 tenths off. He could potentially push for Q3 at the expense of Obsessed Gamer. It's the last car in the session right now. The last car into Q3. Here's Bruno, 600 up in the first sector. looking for improvement. This put P3 right now. So you love P3. Kurt's doing a fantastic job for Alpine there. Putting their car in the top 5. Quarter of a second up now, and that will be just enough to get him up into P1. Into the left-hander. Towards the line, he's got the speed to get himself into P1 this session. Imrie retires, and as he does that, Grimir goes fastest, 1:25.858, and the pace is absolutely there from the defending series champion. Alvar up almost a second here. And I could put as high as P11, maybe even P10. Into left-hander. Not long to go now, it's just 3 minutes to go. Towards the line, P11 for Alvar. It was good improvement by a full second, but not enough to dispatch Obsessed. He was on another lap himself. JB just starting his next lap. 10th Cannon, 8 tenths up in the first sector, but still a lot of work to do. She was almost 2 seconds off of Obsessed Gamer. Towards the second split, we'll see whereabouts she's improved if she's picked up time at all. Up by 1.5 seconds. How much more can she extract from that Red Bull? And will it be enough to get into Q3? Out the corner, towards 18 and 19 to finish this lap off. 127, 126.6. It's enough for P8. Obsessed is improving, and he's improving by enough right now to get himself back inside the top 10 and knock Yoglu out. If Obsessed knocks Yoglu out into the bottom 5 now, that's it. With 1 car guaranteed to be missing Q3. Towards the line for Obsessed. 126.6. It's enough for P8. Pope to P5, retiring from the session. Both Haas cars are set to go through now. Cott is on the bubble. Alvar into pit lane, I think his chances are done now. JB is 800s up. And retiring himself. Websy still has to get that time on the board. It's all very, very close right now. Got a yellow flag in the first sector for JB Stricken Alpine. Which we're clear, we're getting back to seeing the timer and seeing how long we've got left. I can't imagine it be too long. But JB out of qualifying. 40 seconds to go. Chance to Obsessed is done here. I think he is safe in Q3. P9, there goes Cock going second fastest. 125.9. 10th Cannon retiring. This is the last car into Q3 right now. That's what can change that. Websy can change that narrowly by just under 200ths. Now knock 10th out. So checker flag about to fall. I actually think that'll be it. Unless the Red J's going to do it there. Could we get both Mercedes cars into Q3? Red J improving by a 10th. He needs about a second or so though. About 1.5 seconds he needs. Checker flag has now fallen. into turns 11 and 12. Can Rejay get both silver arrows into the top 10 for the first time this season? So a few cars managed to break the 126 barrier and get to the high 25s in this case. Those ones being Grumio, Cotton, Imrie are top 3. Rejay towards the left hand, turn 17 is the last time. Or could be the last time in qualifying. Has he got enough to get into Q3? And I'll do it. Rejay eliminated. P15 then for Mercedes. Grumio top the session then from Cott, then Imrie, then Che. Curtis rounds out your top 5, then Pope, Dan, PJ Obsessed, and Websy will fight for pole position in the last part of qualifying in a few minutes. So here's over Ryan. Calling an end to the session. Or rather in the pit lane. Both Williams cars coming in. So your top 10 then. So Grumio goes through with Cott, Imrie, Che, Curtis, Pope, then Dan, PJ, Obsessed, and Websy. 5 cars going out, 10th Canada for Red Bull, Yogolo, Aston Martin, Alvar in 13th, then it's JB 14th and Rejay 15th. Rejay, we've got you in the chat, mate. Welcome in. I imagine disappointing there, Q3, what happened?
Just no pace, in all honesty, but I think a 127.3 to be only 3/10 off. JB, who's been pretty consistent this season, is pretty good, but though I think at the same time this isn't the track that's favoured him too much, but I feel quite happy in all honesty. But yeah, really good to see Obsessed get into Q3. I don't know what it is, but it's something with Obsessed and American tracks. He just seems to, certainly in quali anyway, he seems to perform very well in. You know, he's got 9th there. If he can try and push into the top 7, that'd be great. Just try and get as high as possible. I think he's got a really good chance of getting some points. Fingers crossed, because he's been unlucky a lot of times in races before. But we'll see what happens. Interesting fight as well for pole. It could be a Williams, it could be a Haas, a Ferrari. Of course, Grumio as well. So it's good to see such a big mix of teams on there. I think only McLaren are the only team that isn't there. Perhaps there might be another one, but yeah, really excited to see what Obsessed can do. I'm sure they'll be made up with it.
Sounds good. And just quickly before I let you go, you give me your prediction for pole position. Who's taking it?
I think pole position. I think, you know what? I'm going to say Daniel Aron. I think he's been tremendously good so far this season. And yeah, I fancy him to take it. And I think it will be a Haas lining up alongside. But I don't know which one. But we'll see.
Fair enough. Well, cheers for joining us briefly, Rejay. Perhaps we'll see you back here later on today.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was then Rejay, unfortunately knocked out. We'll start P15 in the race, but Q3 is now underway, and there is Rejay's prediction for pole position. Daniel Aron sat there letting his teammate go. Also letting the Alpine of JB go. Apologies, no, that was the Alpine of Curtis. Sorry, I've got my Alpine pickups. But in terms of the teams that did make it into Q3 then, so we've got one Sauber, both Haas cars, both Ferraris, but both Williams, then Mercedes, Alpine, and RB. A brief count tells me I think there are 2 or 3 teams that missed them. So Red Bull didn't get their car in. No car from McLaren either. But majority of teams getting at least one car into Q3, so it just shows you how competitive RDL has become, especially this season. But Q3, the first lap's getting underway. PJ's the first car round. Grumio in behind him, second in this train. Then it will be Imrie third in the train. Curtis fourth, followed by the two Ferraris quite a bit further back. Whether they're working to again use the slipstream with each other, perhaps wait and see. Websy looks like he's come back to the pit lane. Sorry, he never left, but there he goes, emerging now. So caught in the first sort of quite as many rounds. Both Williams cars waited for a little bit before going back through. PJ now coming towards the end of the sector, the end of the lap. Start the last sector, down towards turn 17 for the first time. He's leading Grumio, then Imrie, then Curtis. Let's see here what each member of the top 10 has lined up, or at least 8 of them. We'll have to wait for the Williams cars to come around before we get a look at their efforts. PJ towards the line, 1:26.3. Grumio goes 1:25.9. That's the benchmark to beat then. Imrie 1:26.4. Curtis 1:26.3. Just 4 thousandths in front. Che 1:25.7. Dan 1:25.6. These guys are getting faster and faster and faster. So the two Ferraris again showing the way. Obsessed P7 1:26.808. Oh yeah, top 6 fell by a second. Top 7 fell by 1.2 seconds. Cock coming through here, 29.4 is first sector. Webster coming through to start the lap. Towards turn 1. Webster though. And here is Cock. 1 minute 7. 1 minute 0.7 in the first sector. So in the second sector, sorry. So we'll see. This could be a good lap. We'll see what sort of lap what Cott has in the bag. It's been a while since we've seen Cott nab pole position. You haven't seen it this season as of yet. At least not to my memory. At least not to my fleeting memory. I could be very wrong on that. But Cott goes second fastest, 1:25.732. So 2 thousandths above Che. Websy 29.6 in the first sector. We'll see what he's got lined up for sector 2. As of right now, it's the two Ferraris who are on top, but Cott now separating those guys. Perhaps a bit is left in the tank for those two. Websy 1 minute 1.2 in the second sector, so a bit slower than Cott's time. Pretty good at the 1:26, perhaps 27s. Pope's first time left a lot to his lab, 1:45.9. And he comes now. Of course, the lap doesn't count as he ends the pits. Well, I think it's P5 then. That almost like the concern for the two Haas cars so far then. For P8 and P10 right now. Going down in P4 there. 1:25.9 is best ever. So top 4 all setting 1:25s. Websy leads the 26s, and then it's Curtis, PJ, Imrie, Obsessed, and Pope, of course, with 1:45. A lot of improvement needed there. Got into pit lane then. A few cars still on the racetrack, and then just ending their first runs. Curtis P6, 1:26.368. One car on the racetrack with Websy. Like that too. Imrie re-emerging. 5 minutes to go, so that's a bit early for that final run, but still going for it. Landlord joining us there. Of course, Landlord didn't make it for Q1, so we'll be starting at the very back. But we've seen in recent races and in the past, that just doesn't stop him. So for those of you who've never seen Landlord come to the back before, it should be a very entertaining affair for all to see. Of course, I'll always reference the driver Zandvoort last season, when she came from the back of the field, beat Grumio, his teammate, by the nearest of margins. In restarting what could potentially be his final lap. Grumio's also back out in the circuit, as is Pope, so both Haas cars get to go again. There goes PJ reemerging from pit lane 2. Near the end of the first sector in framing race. Let's see where the split puts him. 29.4. He needs a bit more than that. Throw board. Half-second improvement. Again, needs a bit more. It could put him into the top four, onto one of the first 2 rows, but Imrie needs a bit more pace to try and nab first on pole. Just under 3 minutes left. We'll start to see guys coming up their last few laps now. Here comes Imrie. What has he got? 125.8. It's enough for P4. Nothing beyond that. I'll push Grumio down to 5th place, but Grumio is on a lap himself, so we'll see what he can put up the tank. We saw him in the faster lap earlier. He's almost 2 tenths up already. So that'll put him close to around Che's and Cott's pace. Just 4 more corners to go for Grumio. See if he can perhaps put the car back on pole position. A minute 45 to come. The car stopped there. Looks like Imrie's pulled the car over, retired it. Yep, that is it for him. P4 at best for Imrie today. Pope is on the circuit with 8 seconds improving. Needs some more in the last sector, which I imagine we'll get it all back from. And we'll see what sort of lap time he's got. He can go for 1 more. Of course, the soft tyres won't be fantastic after that. Or at least after this lap. Here he comes now towards the line. 126.1. It's enough for P6 right now. Grumio improved back to P4 again. Looks like right now this is Dan's pole position. Che improving by a little bit. Dan improving by 5 thousandths out of the first sector. A second split, we'll see if he is improving, whether he's losing time. Losing half a second here. Che up by 6 hundredths, which might be enough. So he's very close. He needs to maintain this pace towards the line. He does it! By almost another 10th. Fantastic improvement there from Che. That could be pole position. Cott is half a 10th up in the first sector. That slide there might stop him potentially. Oh, around he goes! And off into the inside barrier at turn 16. And that will be it. We'll have to wait until the cars around us in front of them rejoin. There is the checker flag, and last lap's coming through. So Cott then will not improve. First car towards the flag will be Curtis. I probably just know. Oh no, I won't. No, I'm gonna give him a blue space. So that's Websy first car through. Apologies. It's P8 right now. Any sign of an improvement at the end of it? Yes, improvement, but not in places. He stays P8. Premier in the pit lane here, calling into his session. This game retiring P10 for Obsessed. Cott stays P3. Pino stays P9. Any improvements from Che? Che 6 seconds down. Can Dan improve at all? Che's best time at 125.592. Down by a quarter of a tenth. Needs more than that though. Coming towards the line. Can he take pole position from his teammate? No, he can't. It'll be Che then. Unless... Nope, these two are anything left in the tank. Curtis and Pope putting it over. Qualifying is done. And pole position goes to your championship leader, Che. Who's in a good place to try and extend that advantage in the championship standings. It's Dan in P2, so Ferrari lock out the front row. That's Cop P3, Premier P4. Imi rounds out your top 5, then Curtis, Pope, Websy, PJ, and Obsessed. Your top 10. So that's the grid lineup. At the end of what's been a very fantastic qualifying session all round. Pope with the last car to cross the line to signal the end of the session. Comes into the pits. And that will do it for qualifying. There is your starting order. And with that, we're back with you in a few minutes' time. Start the race. So here we go then. Time for action here at the Miami Grand Prix. Round 6 of the Racers Driving League Season 18 campaign. And the things looking quite bright here in the Sunshine State for now, but with a potential threat of rain on the way later on in the Grand Prix towards the latter stages. We could potentially see a late charge to pits for some wet tyres as intermediates. But we'll focus on that when we come to it. There is the circuit. The Miami International Autodrome course circles around the Hard Rock Stadium for the Miami Dolphins NFL team. Of course, the graphic designed, as always, by our very own JB. Of course, replicating the Formula 1's graphic style of the mid-2000s. Websy is your defending winner. We're going 29 laps around this still quite new circuit, of course, and looking forward to seeing what these guys have in store for us after a very entertaining qualifying session which saw the Ferraris lock out the front row. Of course, a reminder for those of you who have not been here before, Ferrari have never won the RDL Championship. After 17 full seasons of competition, Ferrari, no matter with what lineup they've been with, have never won an RDL title in any capacity, be it drivers or constructors. But The Tifosi is starting to dream after 5 rounds. Perhaps this could be their time. Of course, the Constructors going very much in their favour right now. It is Che leading the championship by 8 points to Grimia after winning last time out in China. And Ferrari lead by 51 points over RB in the Constructors Championship. But things are ready to get underway. So without further ado, we'll cut down to the grid in just a moment and get ready for the formation lap.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
So it's an even split today for the most part. We've got a total of 8 drivers starting on the hard tyres, including the 2 Ferraris looking out the front row. Landlord and Flying Duck both making it, but they're in opposite cars, which could be a confusing affair there.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
So there is Che lining up now. Well, no, that's the Che. Sorry, no, that is Che. Yes, sorry, it is. I'm getting myself all mixed up already. That's a fantastic start. But there go the 2 Ferraris then, locking out the front row with a fantastic qualifying run. It's Cotton P3, Grumio 4th, Imri 5th, Curtis there in 6th. As we've got a full grid for today's affair. A full grid of full-time drivers. No reserves in the hunt tonight. Only problem being Landlord and Duck are in the wrong cars. It was Che, it was right, but here we go though. 5 red lights for the Miami Grand Prix. The Races Driving League Season 18, Round 6 is underway. Lights up, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Good start from Che. They'll jump out in front of Dan, going towards turn 1. It's still side by side between Cotton and Grumio going for that first corner. Cotton to 3rd, Grumio slides back into 4th. Imri and Curtis go out for position. Imri wins out, poke behind them. Webb's here, obsessed game up in place of PJ Khaled. And down 7 places already. It's Alvar down 7. Not a good start from McLaren. He'll fall away to the back of the pack with end plate damage, so he's been in contact on the start. Not sure who with. Not sure. We'll see if someone else has any end plate damage. If everyone else is okay. But it is Che leads away then from Dan, then Colt, then Grumio, then Imri. That's your top 5. There goes Curtis to place position number 5 on the outside as they go through towards turn 10. And down to 11, one of the first major braking zones on the circuit. Grumio looking the inside on Cott. The 2 go side by side for position. Through turn 12, Cott gets placed back. Curtis there, perhaps on the hard shoulder on the inside through turn 12. We'll fall back into line to 6th place. Top 8, as you were from the start. Virtual safety car's been deployed. Oh, cars around. Landlord and Alvar make contact. Landlord's gone around and Alvar has been caught behind him. That's end plate damage on Landlord's Aston Martin. We may see an early stop for him. Not sure if he made contact with someone or just found, but VSC early on this thing. I'll wait for the green flag to come back out. So Che leads the first lap, away from pole and Dan second. 3 cars in the pit lane here, a few of them making early pit stops. 5 of them, 6 of them going to the pit lane. And it's wing changes all around the looks of things. So these cars have all picked up damage and Landor may have to double stack here. He is double stacking. That will not help Landlord's case. Of course, Ben and Alvar having to do the same thing there. Both of them getting away. Che leads them then. I'm waiting now for that green flag to come back out. And Landor retiring. Ben with a drive-through, speeding under the virtual safety car. What is going on here? And a full safety car has been deployed. Well, that turned on its head quite quickly. Landor goes out. And that would be massive detriment to RB in the Constructors' Championship. And again, deja vu here. In fact, the Flying Duck is in the other Racing Bull, given that's the car he drove last season. He's got end plate damage there. So maybe potentially stop under the safety car. So I imagine we shouldn't see any early stops. No one went for any soft tyres on the open getaway, so they all should stay as they are. Curtis coming in. Curtis 10 seconds of speeding in the pits. Has he got damage too? He has. End plate. And where's he coming in too? Williams. Taking the chance on set of hard tyres, so now having made his mandatory stop. So Che then, nice and comfortable for the minute. He leads the way. The VSC looked to come to a close, and then the full safety car was deployed almost immediately, according to the drivers. Lando, from what I can see here, being told from our sources who looked away, forgot there was a corner on the pit exit and ran into the wall. So that was the end of Lando. So I think he may have just run right into the pit exit. So Curtis looks to has potentially got damage from as a result of everyone tacking up. We'll have a look here. Yes, he does. Lack of an end plate on the left side of that Alpine. It appears though Grumio and Imrie had some sort of altercation in which Grumio wants to place back, but Imrie's given back no argument. Perhaps an earlier altercation between the brief moment between the VSC and the full safety car being deployed. Right behind the top six is Mercedes Gamer in 7th place, doing a fantastic job in the early moments of this Grand Prix. Safety car will be out for at least another lap here. And that allow those cars to make pit stops to get themselves back up to towards the front. Curtis back in. Colin going back in. Yogaloo. Probably not Yogaloo. That's Ben who got a VSC. A VSC violation. He sped under the virtual safety car. I think just got caught up by the Delta, and as a result now has the drive-through to serve later on in the race. Curtis 7 at 10 seconds. The wing change. No wing change. They could have changed it. There's a safety cars on offer, but well, it's all gone on early on here in Miami, and we'll see now who's got the pace from here to continue on and start pushing for positions on the restart. Waiting now for a message from race control that we'll get back underway. So it's a Ferrari 1-2 then, maximum points going their way. A maximum point score could actually get Ferrari beyond 200 points in the championship within the first 6 races, which I wonder if that's actually been done before by a team. There we go, safety car in this lap. So Shea then will lead them to the green flag, gets back underway, gone to lap 5. Dan right behind them, want to try and keep the field at bay. Cart in P3, then Grumio, Imrie, Pope, Obsessed, JB, Red J and Ethan your top 10. Both Mercedes cars in the top 10. They're still waiting on their first point score of the campaign, despite results last time out in China. Of course, for those of you, the Red J finished P10 on track, but the stewards report as a result then changed the placings, and Imrie had the last point. Oh, Che! And that was close, and Dan takes full advantage of the green flag and goes back through. Well. And that is not how I thought I'd see Che lose the lead today. Dan leads into turn 1. But can Che now try and hold the field back for his teammate? Dan, of course, Never won before in the Racing Driving League, and we've been feeling this season that his day will be coming sooner rather than later. Does Che have anything to do to perhaps try and keep the field at bay and try and push his team out of the order? Of course, outscoring Grumio by 7 points in today's race, or by 8 in this race rather, will put Dan into second place in the Drivers' Championship. It's a long train here. Stop a little bit. Websy holding both Flying Duck and PJ Calder at bay here. Those two going side by side towards turn 11. PJ with the better drive. Temper Cannon now pulling alongside Duck. And I think that damage in the RB not helping his case at all. That end plate all over the circuit there. You can see Yogolu trying the outside ball, making his full-time debut today. Impressed in reserve appearances as of late. And now being given a full-time shot at Aston Martin at the expense of James, who's dropped down to first reserve. Che closing on Dan, wants that race lead back now. Two Ferraris going wheel to wheel here, perhaps as they go towards turn 17. Che will stay in line for the minute, but keep an eye on Cott, who might try and get involved first. A bit wide there for Dan on corner exit, but keeps his lead. Big long train covering more or less the entire field here. Then the first car out of DRS range, but only narrowly. And from there, it's everyone all together. On to lap 6. A lot of tyre smoke there. Difficult to see when you're in the mid-pack, for example. Emery clinging onto his P5 right now behind Grumio. Hoping P6, about 6 tenths back from his teammate. It's down in control. But Che will have his first dosage of DRS down this back straight. Leading from the exit at turn 8 all the way down to turn 11. Into 9 now, waiting for it to open. There goes the rear wing. And there he goes, breezing past 200 miles an hour with ease for Che, who will reclaim the top spot. There goes Cott to his inside too. Wheel to wheel, Ferrari versus Williams. Oh, a bit of contact there. Cott goes wide. No damage. He'll maintain P3, but these two are going to get a bit elbows out early on. Cott on those medium tyres wants to make better use of them over the course of this first stint. He'll want to be really pushing the limit on those, trying to extend the advantage over the cars around him. JB currently the link between the top 6 and the remainder of the train. It was this game there in P8, Red J holding for the last point. Ethan P9, there goes Webster, might be trying to threaten Red J position, won't go for it into turn 17. The defending winner will stay in line with the left-hander. Che passes like that's that bonus point going his way once again. Back to the first corner then. And Cott is really challenging Dan now. Emery right on the tail of Grumio as they run through turn 3. Going towards turn 7 now, through 7. And Haas will be looking to try and close on the RB. Grumio, the reigning champion, seeing his form machine there in his mirrors and still almost just as quick as he was back in the day. But nothing for the minute. Dan staying in line behind his teammate, looks up a little bit. What is the plan between these two? Do these two intend to race each other at all over the course of this Grand Prix? Cott there pressurising Dan right now. Practically staying glued to the gearbox of that Ferrari. Top 8 altogether. Ethan leading the rest of the train, but he's about 2 seconds back from Obsessed right now. He's pulled up almost a second gap in Websy. Red J now into P11, out of the points paying places and falling away. No moves, position changes there, so Emery get close to the back of Grumio. Went a bit wide there, Pope might try to go to the inside, won't go for it. Runs out of room, runs out of time. Back to turn 1, we're on to lap 8 now, this Grand Prix. See what's going on further back. Flying Duck there in dead last of the minute. By Ben, followed by Ben in 18th. There goes Courtney Goblin being challenged by Alvar, Ben's teammate going to turn 1. JB passing Obsessed there. Tough place to make a move. Maybe might have been a mistake from the Obsessed Gamers side. I can't imagine those two going side by side together. Both cars have DRS here, so we'll see how Obsessed responds, if he can respond. Dan takes the lead from Che. Webster passing Ethan. So Dan now back in the lead. But Che right on his tail. Very Schumacher Barrichello-esque watching these two duke it out for position. Che reclaims the lead like that. So it looks like the top three falling away a little bit here. So I imagine the two Ferraris working to try and get caught out of DRS range made their job a lot easier. Yoglu passing Reggio P13. Goes side by side. Yoglu on the outside there, making the move stick. Well done. Okay, and Reggio come back at him though. DRS in play down the inside of the Mercedes towards turn 1. Move that silver arrow on the inside for the first corner, but on the outside for 2. And with that, Yoglu clears him and maintains his advantage that he's just gained. And it's close still to Che. Might go back at it again. It's been a real cat and mouse game with some of these DRS trains so far this season. Let's go the ball, but lifting off. Not going for the move, not jeopardising his teammate, costing him both time. Oh, Grimmy going a bit too deep there into turn 11 and now through 12. And those two Haas cars, I think, are waiting for blood to start falling in the water so they can try and circle in and try and take a place away. JB is still in P7, but Obsessed keeping pace with him. Could we see a move made here, perhaps for P7 to get back? Cotley got him with 3 seconds. Obsessed is closing. He's on the inside. JB now. Close to contact. Very tight there. JB maintains P7. Obsessed falling back, but not out of DRS range. So again, another go at JB. Flying duck now with 3 seconds. Struggling here. Oh, really struggling on those tyres. Che continues to lead. Just down a second. Goes back in. We'll do the same thing again this time. Not close enough this time round. Top 6 have continued to stretch that advantage. Very similar to last week. Of course, it was stretched it kept them all apart last week in China. We'll see what the difference is this time round. 5 cars in that train are on the hard tyres. Only Cot is on the mediums. Both JV and Obsessed on mediums. There's Websy, PJ and Tental on hards. In terms of position change so far, let's have a look at the markers there. So far, as Dan takes the lead from Che, JB has claimed the most spaces so far. He's up 7 from his P14 starting slot. Whoever has dropped the most is down 8. That's Curtis. Obsessed down the inside of JB once again. JB looking for a good drive off there from turn 17. Won't get it this time. Will be on the outside. Yellow flag, and that is Flying Duck with the problem. Round he goes there at turn 11. Gets moving again. Obsessed though, back in front of JB, making that place. Let's make it stick. It's a lap 11, nearing halfway in this race. The outside of Obsessed again, and in that the pack closing back in. Websy and PJ are both there now too. 10th Cannon in 11th, starting to close on that train, and Ethan not too far back either. Should be passing Obsessed for a moment. There goes Obsessed back on the inside. Contact in the pair of them. Doesn't always work. There goes Websy around the outside of all 3 of them. That can't work surely. 3 wide. Obsessed goes across both of them there. No! And Obsessed couldn't middle of the racetrack. Oh no, contact! And in trying to get himself going again, his teammates got damage. Curtis has damage. Pope with the fastest lap up front. And a big train of cars all together here. Alvo is trying to take full advantage. But frustrating, I'm sure, for Obsessed, who's doing fantastically so far. And now both Mercedes cars and Ethan all pitting. Back up front then. PJ will assume P7 and 10th Cannon's P8. JB will remain in 9th. No damage for him, lucky to get away with that. And Websy in P10 with an end plate missing. So Yogolu there right behind him. Websy big lock up there. And move the full-time debutant up into the points playing positions. Yogolu to the top 10. Looking to score points at his first opportunity in the RDL. Of course, the top 6 train remain unaffected by that. Dance almost close to slamming the door there. Oh god, that was very tight between the pair of them. Poke around Imri here, but aside from that, these guys have stayed mostly as they are since the first lap. Bit wide there from Cott. Of course, I imagine he'll be the first to bite the bullet coming into the pit lane here. Websy passing Yogolu back. Going towards turn 17 once again. That lock-up earlier probably didn't help his case, I would imagine. Alvar passing Curtis now. So looks like Curtis stayed out. In he comes now. Looks like Alvar's also got an end plate missing. Connie Goblin is without any damage on the race car. We're waiting for the actual pit sequence to start still. Front wing being changed, medium tyres going onto the Alpine. He's away. Back up front, as it has been throughout the day. It's still the 2 Ferrari cars commanding this thing. They haven't been challenged yet in terms of losing any places. Because Cott has given Dan a fair fight for second place, but it's Che commanding right now. And I do start to wonder to myself, will there be a point where these 2 Ferraris properly start racing? Because of course we've seen Dan hold back in certain instances. As he retakes the lead from Che. Oh, bit of a slide there from Cott. Grumio taking advantage of that. Cott going into the pit lane. So that'll be the end of his first stint. Yellow flag. And that'll be for Obsessed and Flying Duck about some kind of altercation. Not quite sure what. Both cars getting away from the scene okay. Cott making a change then. Hard tyres going onto that Williams, and those are getting to the end of the Grand Prix. We'll see whereabouts he emerges. Whereabouts he emerges. There goes JB also coming in. Cott's teammate will likely beat him out here. It's going to be close to the pair of them, going through the exit turn 1 towards turn 2. Cott gets out in front of his teammate, narrowly. Where's JB? Does he get out in front of his teammate? I should imagine so. There goes Easton past him. JB down to P15 now. That'll move PJ into P6 then. Cott making his pit stop. 10th now 7th. That's Cott in 8th, as he was. As he was running. Websy 9th and Yogolu still 10th. Websy did a good job there despite the damaged car to hold on to where he is in a minute. And Flying Duck retiring. Corner down the pit lane then. Dan reclaims the lead from Che. Yogolu 3-second penalty there as Flying Duck disconnects. Race over for the RB. Of course, his teammate Yogolu still carrying on, but both the 2 drivers who joined us late on have ended the races early. halfway to check a flag from here, and of course, the majority of cars. That's my mind. So no, at this point, the fact we had so many goals in instance today, that only this top 5 yet to make their first stops. No wonder they're 10 seconds in front of PJ. I think was involved in an incident on the first lap. I'm not even too sure, but it's been a chaotic one so far. But all the while, it's between these two Ferraris in terms of the lead, going back and forth, swapping places. It's working so far. 2 Haas cars falling away here. You wonder how long they'll be before they go for pit stops. Of course, as it was last week, the 2 Haas cars are there with the DRS train, but can't really stay with us, actually get involved with the fight. They just sort of sat there, waiting for the chances, which aren't really coming too often. It's what's kept them in 3rd place in the constructors so far. I'm sure they'd like to try and nab 2nd. 2nd at the very least. Pope 1.3 off Grumio now. So it's down to the top 3 once again. Che, Dan and Grumio all together. Pope's got some work to do to get himself back inside the DRS range and try and bring him with him. So past the halfway stage of this thing, Dan's still in control. Well, Che and Dan's still in control. Apologies. Dan's 2nd place right now. But you should imagine he should make a move for the lead. There goes Grumio, they're thinking first. Down the inside and now striking, making his move. Goes the champion passing 1. Can he pass 2 now to the outside? Che going towards turn 11. Che side by side with him. Bit of contact there, but a moment of individual brilliance from the champion on the outside for turn 13. Into the chicane, and it is Grumio who will spectacularly take the lead just like that, in complete control of this thing now. Just like that, having countered both Ferraris at the flick of a switch. They'll both come back at him now, and that their lead's been threatened for the first time in 16 laps. They'll be in full position to try and push back. Che stays in line, won't go for it for the minute. Everyone's staying out as of right now. The track's starting to cloud over here, and this will be where we perhaps could be nearing some rain. So I think these hard tyre runners have all played the long game, hoping the rain comes at a point where they can change onto winters for the remainder of the Grand Prix. But Che and Dan will want to try and pounce and get back at Grumio now. Ethan passing Ben for P12. Saba now just in front of that McLaren. We're back in front. Obviously, if it's going to start raining, we don't know how much DRS will be left in this thing, so it'll be crucial for the Ferraris to get back in front. Che holding back, not going for the move. He had the speed. Perhaps trying to force Grumio into an error of some kind, so that Dan can try and get back around him too. Or perhaps waiting to go down towards turn 17 to take the lead back, because we'll know Grumio has less chance to get back on the main straight unless it's close. That could be the game plan for Che here. DRS deployed and going for it late now. Yes, there he is. Breezing by the RB. Can Dan follow him? Can't for a minute. Pope repassing Emery. Those two still out of position. Grumio in a Ferrari sandwich. And those are blessings to me, I can assure you. On to lap 18. Nearing the start of the final 10 laps of this race. And I think the plan is for the majority of these guys to go steadily as hard as long as they can and make a change to inters. We'll have to keep an eye out on when the rain will arrive. Connie Goblin gets 10 seconds. He's speeding in the pits. Red Bull changing the tyres. Mediums to mediums. He's away again. Grumio fighting back at Che now. Will he get close enough to go to the inside again? Not for the minute, but again, might be employing the same tactic. In repassing Pope. Those two still going out of position now, 2 seconds off the race leaders. 10th closing on PJ now behind them too. Won't go for it again. The game plan here, definitely the prime plan to attack being turn 17. Watch Grumio again. Where it opens, and there he goes. Breezing past like he's standing still. Another place is gained. You wonder how long it is before these guys start to struggle on these hard tyres. Of course, normally won't go any more than about 20 laps or so on those. I'd say at most, you never want to carry out any more than around 25 laps or so on a fresh set of hard tyres from start to finish. But of course, for those who are good on tyres, that can give you, for a race like this, a long stint on hards and a short one on soft with a few laps to go. And perhaps that could also be a game plan for these guys. Top 10 all on hard tyres. Only 5 cars have actually made their pit stops. Or yet to do the pit stops, rather. But it could be anything at the end of this race. Okay, this is a penalty there. Running P15 right now. It's not been a fantastic day for Alpine so far. Of course, Davio is up in the top 10. I've made a stop recently, so I imagine we'll get some time back at some stage. I can see him trying to push towards the points. Albar currently holding the last place. And has made a stop too, so under no threat of being disqualified for that, and having to make another change. But I shouldn't think it'll go too much longer on those. So Grumio holds the lead, then Che right on his tail. Of course, these two were dueling for the win in Japan only 2 weeks ago. It was about half a tenth covering the two of them at the end of 53 laps in Suzuka. So you know these two have still got the spot. Of course, 4 seasons on from their since iconic title fight. Both drivers have still got the pace, can still match each other, and can still go hammer and tonk for position on track. And only time will tell which one of them, if either one of them, will be champion. But keep in mind, these two are definitely the early favourites. Dan set to maintain as it stands 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship. These 3 are the ones to beat. These 3 are the title contenders without a doubt. Whether they'll be joined by any new faces this season remains to be seen. Emery passing Pope. Of course, has to be hoping they can at least get one of these two into the title fight. But right now, 43 and 53 points off the championship lead, and that gap's only set to get bigger at this point. We are now within the final 10 laps here in Miami. No sign of that rain as of yet, but there's every chance. And if not, these guys are going to have to make a stop soon. Che blasting past Grumio there. Dan not close enough to come back at him. Is there a chance Che backs Grumio into Dan and to try and get their 1-2 back? Otherwise, it's got to be a point where Che will just blast off into the distance. Everyone else quite split up at this point. No real fights going down the field. The closest fight since there being the fight between PJ and 10th. These two still at it. But of course, have made their first stop. They stopped in the opening lap. So the fact that all but 5 drivers in this race have been involved in some kind of altercation. And it's been these 5 all the way. They've gone 21 laps almost without any sort of damage or anything like that. Just remarkable standards of these 5 drivers in particular. So keeping going like this. But we have to settle a winner in this race, and there's still 8 laps to go. And they've all got to come into the pit still, so that'd be a problem at some stage to figure out. No sign of that rain If it's going to show up, when will it show up? We still don't know for sure it will. We're constantly keeping an eye out just in case. Pope asking really to trading places back and forth, back and forth. 5 seconds to Dan in P3. Grumio back in the lead now, but Che closing on the main straight. Oh, slight there from Grumio. And that might be the telltale sign. Perhaps these tyres are falling off a little bit. Take her down towards turn 4. Che right on Grumio's gearbox here. Keep an eye out for these guys. Keep an eye out for any potential other slides they may have. Gonna be a good exit there from turn 8. All 3 cars, the fairly solid amount of VRS in the tank. Just game of 3 seconds. It's down in P18 here. It's been a frustrating day after what started so promisingly for Obsessed. And I think, yes, there it is. Those are the first 2 range ups we're seeing. So here we go then. 7 laps, plenty of time for the track to get wet. Che to move the inside this time. Moving back over to the right, sliding across Grumio there. Close to contact, but Grumio reclaimed the lead. Che falls back into line, nobody's been beaten there. Sound the checkmate for Che, who's closing back over Grumio, trying again though to the outside of the racetrack, looking upstairs into that first corner. Yeah, like a grip between the pair of them now. And Dan will be watching this thinking, can I slide through and perhaps win for the first time in the RDL? Maybe. Imrie first fight. On to the intermediate tyres in the Haas. Webster joining him now. You can already see a line starting to form on the racetrack, to my mind. Che passing Grumio again. Won't be long now till the DRS gets disabled, so that ERS will be crucial to use. Che a bit deep, but Grumio holds station, doesn't get close enough to go for a move. There he goes again, Grumio's the outside of the racetrack. Claims the lead. It'll be 6 laps to go across the line. 3 cars in the field now, all on intermediate tyres. Obviously these 3 join them. But one of those Ferraris is going to have to stay out for another lap to avoid double stacking. Red J 3 seconds. Not going to be a good day from Mercedes here. No one's the leaders coming in. Hope staying out. PJ and Tem staying out. Curtis another penalty there in P14 right now. Only 6 laps to go. DRS still in play, but for how much longer though? Got to embrace it while it's still there and got to be in the lead when the DRS gets disabled, I feel. To the outside goes Che there, looking for position number 1 again. The 2 title rivals side by side here for the race lead in Miami. Che reclaims it, and Grumio moves back inside the sandwich. Albon hitting, Yoglu, Curtis, Red Jake all coming in. Into between the widespread choice now. When will we see the leaders pit? There goes Grumio again. Pulling alongside before DRS even start getting to play. Goes back into first place again. 5 laps left in this thing. I think these guys are going to have to stop. Grumio wide there. Che might try to take advantage. Grumio coming in. Che will stay out, but Dan's coming in. Che will stay out for 1 more lap. This could be a decision that wins a race potentially. Who knows? Grumio's in. Inter's going on. Dan is away. Inter's on that car already. Obviously, Grumio emerges in first. Pope now in second place. Cott into third. Will stay out on those hard tyres because he's made a stop already. Doesn't need to pit again. So he can take the risk of staying out on those. And we're behind those guys by quite a way here. Of course, Tempt and PJ might try and go all the way on these if they can. Unsure if the race has been declared wet yet. But I should imagine Che will come in this time. It's only 17 seconds to Grumio for Che, sliding around, losing time. Was this the right call? Looks like Dan's struggling in these conditions too. Falling away from Grumio. Where is Che? Was staying out the extra lap the right call? Or no shortly. Che holds his nerve into the pit lane here. Ferrari putting the Inters on. It's going to be close, I'll give it that. In comes the Haas of Pope. Cart now leads the way. PJ in second. Where is Che? There he is, emerging at the back of the train. Sorry, emerging in front of the train there, in front of both Tempt and Dan. But Grumio is now a second in front of him. He's going to have to rely on PJ and Cott holding up, and they're doing just that on those dry tyres. Grumio looking around, looking for an opening on the inside. He'll find one. Yellow flag. Further back on the track, that is one of the Alpines. Not sure that is Curtis had some kind of problem. He falls behind both Mercedes cars here. JB with a warning. Sorry, with a penalty for multiple warnings, rather. Che is right back up close to Grumio again. Grumio to the outside of Cott, though. And Grumio reclaimed the lead. Unless Cott can still give him a try on the inside. Not quite. Che now needs to navigate his way past that Williams and up into P2 again. Stand a chance of winning this thing. He's got to do it without losing too much time, without doing too much damage to his car. Dan's still there in P4. These guys have took the risk of staying out on the dry tyres to have a chance, perhaps a higher placing. Be tramped by these cars on the Inters. With 3 laps to go and they cross the line. Still not wet enough for it to be considered to disable DRS. Not yet. Grumio has done a good job here. He's now 8 tenths to the good over Che with 3 laps to go. Dan looking around for an opening for P3. Going down the inside, sailing in on Cott there at the first corner. Can't quite get around though, bit of contact. Cott's at the high line. Oh, contact again. Damage for someone, not sure who. I saw something go off. I don't think it was for either one of them. Think just a visual thing. PJ holding P5 here. And P6 for 10th. Imrie is fighting now to try and close back in and nab some more points. Pope and P8, things have not gone Haas hope today. Che with the DRS, again closing back in. And they'll continue this fight with the left off. Now how long does Che want to hold where he's at? Because he's raced Grumio before in situations such as this. But not in wet conditions though. That's the key thing here. It's the first race we've had all season with weather like this. In terms of a substantial period on these tyres. Che closing in, goes to the inside of the racetrack, makes the pass. And with 2 laps to go, these two will go at it again. Dan in position, hoping and praying that perhaps something could go wrong with the 2 cars in front of him that will give him the win. But I'm sure we'll be just as satisfied if Che comes through and claims P1 over Grumio, extends that lead. Right now that gap, that championship gap as it stands live, sits at 15 points between Che and Grumio. Grumio, with the win, can drag it back down to 1 again. If Dan finishes second and Che finishes third, that'll make Grumio the leader of the championship again. Now he goes down the inside. Audacious from the reigning champion. But Che, like I was saying, back in. He won't do. And that's the sort of thing champions are made of in this league. And the 8-time champion proving his mettle just like that. There's still DRS in play for Che. But surely the race control can't go much longer without disabling it. As the rain gets increasingly harder. But stays in line. I think the last thing Che wants to happen here is for the DRS to get disabled as he's about to make a move. Grumio not using any of his battery as it stands. Che having about 90% of his left too. And Dan is there as well. But for only with 40% and half a second back. Does he try and get involved in this scrap? Caught set for P4 at the minute. Imrie has caught PJ in 10th. And will try and take P5. There he goes, sliding around. Side by side with the Sauber. Back into line though. But up front is Grumio who will lead them on to the last lap. Imrie to the inside there. Going for P6, locking the tyres up. On the inside, can he get there? Che's going for the lead towards turn 1. One more lap to go here. And Che's not going to have a lot of time left. Grumio hunting win number 4 of 6 this season. He stopped the track though. And does Che do the same thing? Grumio defending to the inside there. I don't think Che had the gumption to go for a move like Grumio did a lap ago. And could that be a race-winning move potentially? Che's going to have to hope that DRS is what he needs here. Has it been disabled? I don't think it has. No, it hasn't. Che will have DRS and he pulls alongside. This is the race for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Dan's got it too. But now Grumio is in place to come back at Che one last time towards turn 17. Has Che made the wrong moves and made it too soon? They have a lot of battery to use, but so does Grumio, and he'll have the DRS to his play too. What can Dan do? Can he help his teammate from back there? I don't think he can. Che is just 3 corners from victory now. But in those corners, in between those corners, is one DRS zone. And the reigning champion right behind him. Che defending to the inside. Grumio to the outside. And if he can clear the Ferrari, he's going to clear the Ferrari. Going in. I think that might be it. Che trying one last time down the inside. Contact between the pair of them. Down on the inside. Who's going to get there first? Close to contact again. Grumio pulling in front. And there goes Grumio back in front. Checkered flag for the champion. Grumio wins Miami. Che comes home second, down by half a tenth at home in third. Caught fourth. Imrie and Pope beating 10th and PJ, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Jay beat the penalty, come through for 9th. Websy as it stands onto the last points in 10th place. And Che threw it in for one last move. And that might cost him potentially second place too. Because I imagine that'll get reported to the stewards. Che apologised in the chat saying big send, so he gave the place back. So he lifted off and Grumio takes the win. So the championship gap then will narrow to 1 point. JB 9th, Websy 10th, Alvaro 11th, Ethan 12th, Courtney Goblin home for 13th. Ben P14 then. But move him up to P13 over Courtney, that 10-second penalty. Yoglu, P14 now. I think that'll do it then, cut in terms of that 10-second penalty. Curtis 16th. And the 2 Mercedes cars. Oh, as Reggio spins out. The 2 Mercedes cars will be the last ones to finish. On a day that looked to be particularly promising for them. And now DRS gets disabled as the race is over. And there is your winner. At the end of a very, very tense affair between Grumio and the 2 Ferraris, the champion again comes out on top. 4th win of the season. Saudi Arabia, Australia, Japan, and now Miami too. 4 wins to Grumio, 2 to Che, and 1 point covering the 2 drivers in the World Championship. Down in third, we'll lose a bit of ground to those guys at each, but we'll maintain P3. Imrie and Pope have done just enough to take P4, or maintain P4 and P5. But caught with some big points, so that'll take him up to around, or just inside the top 10, I should imagine. But what a brilliant race. Thoroughly enjoyable all round. And there it is. So then, after 29 laps of hard racing, it was these three drivers again who were the ones to beat towards the end. And Grumio emerges on top of over all of them. Both Ferraris beaten. RB triumph. And Grumio wins in Miami. So that'll do it then for the racing today, and we'll now get over to the post-race interviews ever so shortly. And we'll see here who is about. So we'll see who we can get in for a brief chat after that very exciting Grand Prix. Of course, the late change to the wet tyres definitely threw things up. Pope is our first arrival. Pope, mate, P5, welcome back into the commentary box. And of course, perhaps a slightly lonely race for you and Imrie there. Talk to me. What happened out there?
Yeah, just a bit boring to be honest. I mean, once cockpit the first time and the gap kind of built, I wasn't ready with ERS to stick with the ones up top, so I tried to stay the train, but I just think there was a bit of miscommunication between me and Imrie on how the DRS train was kind of working, and we were just losing so much time. But we can't really complain at P5 and P6. It's probably where we were on pace, so happy with that.
I think I have to agree with you on that. Yeah, obviously throughout the first stint, the majority of the first half of the race, you guys were there with the leaders, but not really able to get involved in the action. Is that frustrating to sit there and watch those guys go at it?
Not really. I mean, no one was really going apart from the top two until they broke away, which is what it is. Bear in mind, I wasn't very prepared for this race at all. It's not one of my strongest tracks by any means, so I'm happy with the position I finished. But no, I was pretty happy. I got past Imrie, and then was trying to just wait for the right time, and unfortunately, the right time just never really came until cockpit, and they were able to blast off.
Yeah, I was watching you guys go back and forth for places. But yeah, so obviously Grumio wins the race, and that brings the championship gap down between himself and Che to 1 point. Of course, your former teammate from a couple of years ago. Is it good to see Che at the top of the championship, given the history you guys have?
Both of them are my former teammates. I won a constructors title with Grumio.
Yes, you do remember.
Yeah, I'm not really. It's not what I'm looking at, to be quite frank. I've not really paid attention to the top two. But I mean, it'll be nice for Che to win because obviously we've seen Grumio dominate for so long, and I think Che's been so close but not been able to have the cigar for the championship. So hopefully he'll be able to get it. But like I said, I think there's going to be many more twists to the tail, no doubt.
Of course, and last question I put to you, obviously Imola next week. Of course, you're the defending winner of that race. Is there a chance to go back to back?
Yeah, I think now kind of starts my really, really good tracks. Japan was good, China's not so great, Miami's not so great, but then Imola, yeah, I've won I think 3 times here in RDL. So it's definitely probably that and Monaco probably my strongest track. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll put in a bit more practice as well for Imola. And yeah, then onwards and upwards. Obviously, I'm going to be missing Spain, which is so frustrating. But yeah, not much you can really do.
Fair enough. I mean, good job on the pace today from both you and Imrie. Both did fantastic jobs. We'll move over now to the guy who arrived next, which is Red J. Red J, mate, unfortunately, I mean, things look promising for Mercedes today, but in the end, this wasn't to be. Is that frustrating? I can imagine it would be, but let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's coming to that time when we've probably got to admit that we're in some pretty big trouble at this point. It's 6 races now, and all too often now we are just way too far off the pace. Difficult race for me. I mean, obviously Obsessed did a really good job in quali. I think he was 10th in the end. Brilliant, getting into Q3. He's done that before at Vegas. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him in the race. It didn't work out today. After the chicane going onto the back straight, he was sitting in the middle of the track. I'm not too sure what happened, but I went into him, and it just ruined both our races. And then I think we were just sort of confined to the back. But 6 races gone now. No points. I think it's McLaren who are the next team on 4, and then there might be Red Bull after that, or perhaps not, because 10th had a good result. So we just need points at this point. Like, we really, really do. And especially when you look at drivers like is it Yogalu? Yeah, Yogalu, who's performed really well when he's come in, and he's been given a seat now, and rightfully so. But once Game & James gets his new setup or whatever it is, you would expect him to walk back probably onto the grid. And if there's a team that isn't performing halfway through the season that don't have any points, is that potentially me or Obsessed Gamer at threat? Potentially so. So, I don't know. It's just a really disappointing race overall. Just a bad setup. I don't really have anything else to say, to be honest. I think towards the front, it looks really exciting. Ferrari, again, really good. Grumio, good win from him. I think you've got 3 teams that are going to be going for the Constructors, which is really interesting. As Ferrari and RB. But from our points of view, it doesn't look great at the moment. But I'd like to know when you come to Obsessed, what happens to him on the back straight, because he'd been doing quite well up until that point.
We'll have to see there. Of course, looking ahead to Imola, what's the objective there? Is obviously to try and get the point on the board. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, absolutely it is. Like Imola, I didn't get the chance to race there earlier on the season because I was on holiday. So looking forward to that one. I don't think it's a 100% race, which is a shame, because it is really fun to drive around there. Such a fun track. Love Italy in general. So yeah, looking forward to that one, and hopefully if we can come away with a point. I think, do you know what? Honestly, at this point, it's not. It's just trying to get a points on the board. I don't know. The last time maybe a team failed to score points in a season, we do not want that to happen. I don't think it will. I think at some point we will get a decent haul of points, and you've got to look at China, where if it wasn't for what I did in quali, we would have got a point. So, yeah, we just got to try and be a little bit positive. But it's always just frustrating when you're kind of at the back for the whole race. It's not very nice. But yeah, never mind. Maybe I should just join you in the commentary box instead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always open if you do want to discuss that. But I think for now,
maybe next year.
Maybe you have to. I think for now, though, keep the mentality on the racetrack, and hopefully things will pick up for you guys very soon. We'll come now to Daniel Aaron, the only podium finisher right now in the voice chat. Dan, welcome in. 3rd place then. I must know, what were your thoughts at that exact moment when you saw Che and Grumio take each other on in turn 17 in the last lap? Was there a chance to win there? I've got to know.
There was, because I got a better exit than the both of them, but Che just, he was sportsman. He let Grumio have the place back because he said it was an unfair move, and that's fair. Obviously, without that, then I would have been stuck to P3 anyway, so I can't really complain too much. My form the rest of the season, I'll have opportunities in other tracks, I hope. And another race like this just keeps on boosting my confidence, within 3/10 of the win again. So, yeah, just happy with today in general. And
of course, good result for Ferrari, takes them further ahead in the Constructors' Championship. Of course, it's been 6 seasons since you won the Constructors with Landlord in the AlphaTauri. Is it perhaps time for another Constructors? Do you reckon? Is this the one?
It's very hard to see until Landlord is able to consistently qualify and get back to being up the front of the grid with us. Just off the start instead of having to work his way through, 15 cars. Then at the moment we look pretty comfortable. I think it's a 59-point lead or something silly after today. So, just got to keep on grinding away these results. You know, P2 and P3 is very good for the constructors. I think I might have lost out a bit in the drivers today. That's, again, a little bit further fetched for me, but we'll see how things are in another 6 races' time.
And of course, looking ahead in the slightly closer future to Imola next week, are we looking forward to that as a circuit? What are we thinking?
Yeah, I am. It's not a track that I've driven on this game, but you know, I've put in plenty of time in the other tracks now, and I feel confident at Imola. I think a lot of people have said about track limits being an issue there, so as long as I keep it clean, then I hope that I can get another good result and maybe go to that number 1 spot on the podium instead of number 2 or 3.
Fair enough. I'll have to wait and see, though. Well, congratulations again on another podium finish. The pace continues to be strong for you guys over Ferrari. We'll come now to 10th Cannon, who claimed another points finish after starting slightly further back today. 10th, congratulations. Good points for you on the board once again. But of course, the gambles to stay out on those dry tyres, Leighton. Was that worth it?
Yeah, I definitely say so. I don't think. I think if I'd pitted, I wouldn't have had a chance to. I wouldn't have even been close to the Hasses in front of me. But to be honest, the goal wasn't to get like really high up in the finishing order. I think it was just to beat PJ, which I did do. So I think overall I'm happy with today. It was just long stint on hards, but I think my setup being different to what quite a lot of other people were running, I think that kind of helped me in the end.
Fair enough. Of course, I did want to ask you something slightly more in depth about that fight with PJ, because I'll switch back to it every so often. I'd say that's probably one of the best fights you've had since joining this league. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I wouldn't really call it a fight per se. I think it was more just me just sitting behind him, just waiting for the moment to strike, really. I thought he was going to pit eventually, and I was just going to follow him into the pits and see if I could just DRS with him for a while. But I think getting there at the end was quite nice to be able to pass him, even though it was with DRS. But no, it was a good fight. It was a good race. Good to be up there with him.
Of course, solid points for Red Bull on the board as well. So obviously, I think closest targets for you guys being sort of Sauber and Alpine. Do you reckon you got a good chance of catching those guys in the next few races? You and Courtney together?
I mean, we'll have to see. I think it depends on how much pace I have, I think, and how much pace Courtney has. But I think I'm looking forward to it. I like these tracks coming up. I like. I mean, the one after Imola is, of course, Monaco, I think. So that's going to be fun. I think that one's going to be more about just keeping it clean and not getting penalties or crashing, as is Imola. I think is what I'm best at. So I'm looking forward to it.
So the target's just more points at Imola, yeah? Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Try and get in the top 10 again.
Fair enough. I mean, that's all you can really ask for. Well, again, good job on the points today. I think the gamble works for you. Got you a bit more in the end in the bank. And we'll come now last of all to JB. JB, you did get in the points in the end, didn't you? Or did you get right on the end? Or am I incorrect? Sorry.
Yeah, P9.
P9. That was it. Yes. Of course, bit of a mad one out there today. Across the entire field. Of course, you were there for the brief the incident with Obsessed over in the last sector. What happened there? Because I think someone tried to take it 3 wide. I wasn't too sure.
Yeah, me and Obsessed were going side by side through the tightest section of the track, and then Websy decided to make it 3 wide, and then there was just not enough room. I don't know why he decided to do it, but I won't comment any further because obviously I haven't looked at all the POVs and everything, and maybe the opportunity was there for him, but it certainly wasn't by the time we were all side by side. And yeah, I was the Alpine sandwich, but hopefully that will be looked at tomorrow, and whoever was responsible will be penalised.
Of course, consistency continuing for you guys, but perhaps into overall for Alpine, perhaps was there any chance of more points being on the board, or is this all you guys could have done in terms of scoring?
Well, before that incident, we were battling for P7, but 10th and PJ didn't pit again, so would have been behind them regardless, and so I would have ended up maximum P9. It would have been a bit further up the road without the incident, but I had the decision at the end whether to stay out on the hards or pit, and I gained 2 places from staying out on Alvar and Websy. So paid off, and yeah, I think that was all I could do today.
Fair enough. And of course, last one, looking forward to Imola next week. What's the game plan there? Is there a certain approach to be taken for this one? Because obviously track limits is a big thing, as just mentioned earlier.
Yeah, track limits is the main thing. I think if you can just not get any, I think you're probably guaranteed points, because last season we had people with 20-something seconds, and a lot of people with time penalties. If there's a late safety car, then the winner's going to be whoever doesn't have any. So we'll see. I'm not very good at track limits. That's the problem. So we'll see. If I can get some points again, that would be good, because I've only not scored points once this season, and that was when I was 11th for Australia. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Just looking to keep up the positive record is all. I mean, good job on the points today. Again, another good score for the season. And has anyone got a word of the race they want to put forward? Just while we're here together. I'll take anything.
Wheel.
Have you interviewed Obsessed?
Obsessed is just listening in. Doesn't want to talk.
Oh, okay.
What did you say? What did you have lined up?
No, that was.
I heard 10 suggest a word, but I wasn't sure it was.
My mute button wasn't working. Wheel, I said.
Wheel. That works. I'm happy with that. I think since Pope left the commentary box, the whole word of the race thing's I've been on the toilet because I'm not very good at it. But that'll do then. Wheel is the word of the race generic, but it works. So go down to the chat, type in the word wheel. Let us, and obviously if you're watching this post stream, type the word wheel in the comments. Let us know what you think of. What do you think of the rain in Miami today, and how it changed the race towards the end? But that'll do it then. That'll do it for another episode. Another race in the RDL Season 18 Championship. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future RDL content as the season continues. Next week's race being on the 27th of January, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix Imola, and the week after that, of course, the big 100% race in Monaco. Definitely a highlight on the calendar of the season, so make sure to tune in for that. I've been Zach RC. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you next time. Good night.